our sales plan, we do great auctions. And I kind of got laughed at. And at the time, I felt a little insufficient because I was like, well, there must be more.
Welcome to this special Fireside chat with some of the founding members of Purple Wave Auction. Join us as they reflect on our journey, the challenges we've faced, and the driving philosophy behind our success, simply doing great auctions.
We did some exotic things a long time ago, and I remember being, in situations trying to learn and getting pushed hard. What's your sales plan? How does Purple Wave grow like it is? And this is, our sales plan, we do great auctions. And I kind of got laughed at. And at the time, I felt a little insufficient because I was like, well, there must be more. And over time, I think what we've learned is if we take on only great auctions and do great auctions, the word of mouth, referenceability, and referability is so much more powerful than any sales technique, that it continues to build our brand, that really picking positions to do great auctions, that is our sales plan. And I think it continues to be, and even a lot of the work that we do in territories is to go out and promote the assets we already have for sale and make sure that we're doing a great auction. And that's what I've appreciated about every person sitting at this table, is a heavy focus on taking care of the client we already have.
Right. Well, and why we're here today, kind of talk about the history. But what's interesting is I look at things. When I showed up 16 years ago, we weren't the right fit for the people that we're doing business with today. Today, we're not the right fit for the people we were doing business with 15, 16 years ago.
Some of them, the ones that haven't grown with us.
Right, some of them.
And that's one of the great things is we've grown up, even back 25 years, to look at so many of our clients and customers and employees, how much everybody has evolved together to do bigger business and change the way we've done business. Not the way we've done business, but the assets that we're selling, the markets that we're working in.
Yep. I think we've always done a really great job, though. I mean, no matter when we were selling precious metals or when we're selling heavy equipment.
Pots and pans, for anybody that doesn't know.
But the one thing that we've always done, regardless of the client, is we've wanted to find out, what is a good auction to you?
Right.
Like what are your expectations?
Setting expectations.
And what's important to you?
Right.
And we've done a good job listening for that, and we've done a good job acting to that.